Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Sema Na ADC. I'm Irene Gidinji, the Africa Development Center Ecosystem Lead at Microsoft. On today's episode, we're going to talk about everything to do with developers and our new initiative called the Microsoft Dev Community Africa. With me, I'm joined with our Cloud Advocates who will introduce themselves and get into the discussion.
Hi everyone, I am Bethany Jepchumba, a Cloud Advocate in the AI team here at Microsoft. My role involves helping AI engineers and any developer to build end-to-end AI solutions using Azure AI Foundry and other tools such as GitHub models and of course my favorite language, Python.
Hi guys, my name is Julia. I'm an advocate in the app dev and tooling team. Our team focuses on all the developer tools that you use on a day-to-day basis. So from VS Code, GitHub Copilot and the likes.
Jumbo, my name is Joylene Kirui. I'm a cloud advocate at Microsoft, responsible for security. And we do everything end-to-end security, including developer security.
Hello, my name is Josh. I'm a cloud developer advocate for the data advocacy team. And my team focuses on everything Azure data, from operational databases like Azure SQL, PostgreSQL, Cosmos DB, to analytics tools like Power BI and Microsoft Fabric. And I'm happy to be on the show.
So Josh, what is the Microsoft Dev Community Africa and how can a developer be a part of it?
The Microsoft Dev Community Africa is a community of all developers, whether you are in whatever area you're in. Like you've had as advocates, we're supporting different technologies and different solutions. So whether you're in data, you're in AI, you're in security, regardless of which vertical you're in, we're here to help you so you can be able to join the community and interact with Microsoft professionals and also interact with other members of the community. Now, who is eligible to join? You can join as long as you're interested in tech or a tech enthusiast. So you could be a professional developer, you could be a student developer, you could be someone who is starting out in tech. I think this offers you a platform for you to interact with people. And even if you're not in tech, maybe you're just interested in tech, this gives you an opportunity to learn what is happening in the tech industry and what the community here is also discussing about as well.
It can also be low-code developers as well. So don't hinder yourself by thinking that I'm not at this level of development. So any kind of developer is welcome to join the community.
Or if you're not doing like a CS course or an IT course, you may be from the law field, medical field, you're just interested in learning of how technology is being used in those particular domains. So I think it's basically a space for anyone who just wants to learn about technology.
That's great. And how do you think the community fosters collaboration? So in your own opinion, Joylene, how do we bring people together to collaborate as developers?
Yeah, so at least we have one platform for them to all be together. So ideally, we have a Discord channel, and that's where we request them to join and also collaborate with other developers. And we also have different events, and that's the first place where we get to share all those information. If you have a hackathon, whatever kind of developer initiative that we have, we share it there. So we bring them together, a place where they can also share. If they have an issue, they can bring the issue there. Maybe someone else had a similar issue, they can share the solutions as well.
And when we look at the different engagements we've had for developers like Experts Live, what would you say was one of the memorable things that happened or that you were able to do with the developers on that day? Maybe Julia, you can share your experience.
I really enjoyed Experts Live. I think it was the first one in Africa that we brought here in Nairobi. And the excitement that I saw was everyone being like, I've been using this tool for years now, but I didn't know it could actually do that. So we have very new features, very exciting use cases with the tools that you're already using that people just don't know about. But when you show up in these events, you're seeing someone use the same tool you've been using, but in a different way. So I think that's the thing that I saw most. So most people, even from the feedback that they shared, they were like, I've been using, let's say, GitHub, but I didn't know you could actually use it in this and this way. And you find that in most cases, Jolene was also talking about how if you have issues, you come in and you kind of brainstorm with more people. I think in tech, our problems bring us together because it's like you're almost always hitting issues and bugs. And there's someone who has likely encountered that. So if you like seclude yourself, without that community, it can be so frustrating. But I feel like with this community, like for example, Experts Live, just that knowledge share, right? I'm using this tool, this is how I'm using it. These are the challenges that we faced. This is how you can maybe overcome them. So yeah, I think that's the biggest takeaway from Experts Live, as well as the other initiatives and events that we've been having.
And as we look at the different events we've had as Microsoft, which are hosted outside of Kenya, do we have any plans to have like a local build, Ignite? Is this something we can start doing for our community?
Actually, when you talk about it, last November, we did a local Ignite here in Kenya. We had a session here in the office where we had developers come in and learn about what are the new things, the new technologies announced in the different areas, including low code as well. And it was a very exciting day because you could see the excitement and people trying out new things. And they're like, yeah, I really needed that in my entire ecosystem. And one actual very interesting use case that I encountered was during the startup event that we had in December. We had one of the founders reach out and say, I've been having this issue with a Power Platform. I don't know how to fix it. I'm not a Power Platform expert. I used to be at some point. So what I did was I reached out to our MVP, that's Shadrach, and it was easier for them to now come together, reason out, okay, this is the challenge you're facing, this is how you approach it. And 100%, they were able to receive the help they needed, and they're doing better than being just stuck alone in their own space because they reached out through community and they were able to get the help they needed.
Okay, that's great.
So yeah, I think since most of us can't definitely go to Seattle for Microsoft Build, we're bringing Seattle. I mean, this economy is. So yes, we're bringing that experience of Seattle here, probably in the office in Nairobi, for you to also meet, because we are also speakers in most of these events. We go to Microsoft Build to deliver sessions at Microsoft Ignite as well, at AI Tour. So we bring that experience back.
And just something else, I think something that is also very important is, in as much as we're seeing so many advancements in tech, there's also the local context. So we may be talking about a lot of new things, let's say in the field of AI, but when you come back home, like the industry you're actually working in, the company that's just right next to you, how are they using these technologies? And I think this is the best community to interact with them and just get to know. We say kwa ground vitu ni different, and I think it's the exact same thing.
That's very, very true. Yeah. And as cloud advocates, how are you empowering the community? So you're all into different tracks and different tech. So how do you see yourself empowering the community, seeing as you're based here in Kenya?
We're doing that in a couple of different ways, and I'll begin with some of them that are actually running now. For example, Bethany has just completed a Learn Together for AI 900. So for those who don't know AI 900, it's our certification exam for the AI path. So Bethany has done a 1-month training where you have immersive live streams. You get, sort of a guided sort of learning, and then at the end of the training, you get a voucher for you to sit for your certification exam. And we have more Learn Togethers that are coming up. I know later this year we have a data Learn Together that is also coming up. So that is one of the ways we're doing that. But on top of all of that, we also try and bring some flagship events local here. By mentioning flagship, for example, in March we'll be having AgentCon. Now, the first AgentCon was in South Africa a few weeks, and we'll have the second AgentCon here in Nairobi in March. And that is also an important event for developers because, out there people are talking about agents and AI and the future of all of these. But having now that local conversation here, and even within Microsoft leading the developer communities to have a conversation around that, to have an understanding of, the influence of all of this in their in the future, that is very, very important. So how we do this, how as advocates we try helping developers is, one, through events. We'll organize events for them to come here, have a conversation with us, learn from us, and also for us to learn from them. They use our products, they use our tools, so it's important for us to learn how they're using, challenges they're facing, gather that sort of feedback. We also create blogs, video tutorials. We kind of share all of these with them. We also plan and execute hackathons. So, for example, we have a hackathon coming up, and why that is important, you're doing all of these sort of trainings, attending events, live streams, and so hackathon allows you to be able to do, or rather to put everything you've been learning into practice. So we have a range of activities that we actually do, and we don't do alone. We don't do it alone. We advocates, we're supported by MVPs as well. So, MVPs are part of the community, and they also chime in all of everything that we do.
He's talking about MVPs, and I don't know if everyone knows what an MVP is. So I think we should maybe just describe what it is.
That's true. Yeah, I can
Are
take
you
us
looking
through
at
the
me?
room. Yeah.
All right, yeah, so if you've not heard of it, the MVP program is basically a program for anyone who is in the industry, who's passionate about different Microsoft technologies. So you basically get nominated for this program, and then once you're in, Microsoft actually gives you access to resources to help you build, as well as just help your community grow in that specific domain. So you heard Bethany mention and talk about Shadrach, who is the MVP for Power Platform. We have several others covering different technology spaces. So if you're in the industry, you don't necessarily maybe work at Microsoft, but you're passionate about Microsoft technologies, I think this is the program that you should be looking at.
And they can get nominated through?
Yeah. So an existing MVP can nominate you. I think an FTE, a full-time employee at Microsoft, can also nominate you. And I think they also get very many benefits. I mean, early access to products. So if you're like, I want to know what's new in this space, that's definitely the program you should be looking at.
Yeah, Bethany?
In addition to MVPs, because MVPs have been very crucial in terms of helping us deliver sessions, but we also have MLCs, those are our student ambassadors who help us share the Microsoft gospel per se in campus, and through the MLSA program you get exposed to what is expected in the industry, and you get your foot in there and see, okay, this is what happens at Microsoft, and this is probably where I want to go in future.
Yeah, and maybe just for everyone, MLSA is Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors. Yeah, so it's a program for students who are passionate about developing with Microsoft. All right, and as we come to the close of our discussion, what advice would you give someone who is hesitant about joining the community? Maybe they don't think they're technical enough, or they think that they probably wouldn't add value into the community. What kind of advice would you give them?
Maybe I can start with the fact that I am not from a technology background. I did business in campus, so I know all about being in a field where you know nothing about it. And the beauty of tech is people are always there willing to help. And when you have a community around you, it's easier to learn, it's easier to grow. They say if you want to go fast, you go alone, but if you want to go far, if you want to get an expansion of opportunities, you go with people. So with community, you're able to get the guidance you need, you're able to even know which roadmap you're supposed to follow, and even the diverse opportunities that are out there. Before I got into tech, I used to just think it's just software engineering. Now when I'm inside, I'm like, there's program management, there's security, there's low code as well. So there's everything for everyone in tech. So don't be afraid, just join us.
I think I'll also add something. You lose nothing by joining the community, but at the same time, you stand a chance of gaining so much. Like personally, just from my own experience, I think if I remove the part of my life when I was in the community, I don't think I would have made it to Microsoft. Because that is when I actually knew about, what the tech space, required, what skills I needed to work on. That's the time I also built some professional networks and got mentors who actually helped me get into the industry. So yeah, I think that's the first thing. I mean, if you're actually having any doubt, just know that you will lose absolutely nothing, but you don't know what you'll actually gain from the community.
I think also for me, I can share that I also don't have a technical background. And I think most of us don't. We stumbled into tech later on, and then it got us to where we are now. So even joining the community gives you a real opportunity to see how can I infuse tech in whatever area or industry I'm in. I don't know, Joylene, Josh, do you guys have any parting shots and inspiration for anyone wanting to join?
Yeah, and for me, it's one thing mainly. If you've observed the tech space over the last 2 years, sometimes it's very hard to keep up. I struggle with it every single week. There's this announcement, and the next day there's another announcement, But when you're in a community, one person may know one thing, another person may know another thing. Keeping up it becomes a little bit easier. You don't have to feel as if you're missing out on a lot, as if you don't know so much, because different people in there are enriching each other. So it becomes easier for you to keep up with the pace and know what's really happening in the space.
I think I can close off by saying community rocks for sure. So why not be part of an awesome community where you get to engage with other awesome people, and yeah, let's grow together.
And that's it from us. Thank you so much for joining our episode on Sema Na ADC. For more information on how to join the community, we'll post all the links on the description. Thank you for listening and watching, and we'll see you on the next one.